Well, that was certainly a dramatic opening to our start of episode 21, FarmVille2 Country Escape livestream with Scott and Jennilee. And I am so super excited for tonight's show, everybody. Joining me, I hope, as always, is Jennilee. Jennilee, are you here?
I'm here, Scott.
Yay! And normally, Jennilee, we get into your job from your last week, but who has time for that tonight? Joining us tonight from a secret location, I'm guessing in a dark basement somewhere in the Zynga studios, is the mysterious and marvelous Lad. Lad, are you here?
I am here.
OMG, Lad!
Room.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. When you said you were going to join us on our live stream, I was so excited and I was bursting. Right, Jennilee? I couldn't help keep myself.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, it was crazy. It was unbelievable. And it's literally a dream come true for Jennilee and I for our live stream to bridge the gap, the communication gap between the players and Zynga. So, you know, we were all pretty sure that Zynga was just a robot and was on auto reply all the time with our emails and stuff. And so thank you so much again for joining us.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Your live stream has been keeping me entertained on my travels into the office on Friday mornings. So I'm super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
That is so epically awesome. Okay, so while we wait a few minutes for a chat room to fill up, and before we introduce chatters, and maybe we'll minimize that tonight just because we want to chat with Lad. But while we're waiting for that, let's ask Lad a couple of basic questions. Is that all right, Lad?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and I can repeat them, but I'm going to ask you all 3 at once because then I can listen to you just talk for a second. So first of all, who are you? How did you hear about our live stream? And what made you ultimately decide to reach out to myself and Jennilee?
Nice. Well, so I am Lad. I'm a VIP account manager at Zynga, one of a few on the FarmVille team, and so. Our job is to ensure that our VIPs have top support and things that they need in order to continue enjoying the game and things like that. So that's me. I live in Chicago, and so in thinking about Country Escape, it's the game that I actually work on the most. I'm the studio lead for that game for our team. And thinking about that, I wanted to kind of check out what was on Facebook and what players are, in fan groups for and that kind of stuff. So in those, I came across your live stream, and I couldn't believe that someone was live streaming it. And so I went to go look at it, and because I had never seen someone live stream a mobile game. I've seen live stream, on Twitch, you can see people playing like platform games and that kind of stuff. But you were the first mobile game live stream I had seen. And so I was watching, and I thought to reach out to you all because, of course, the first episode I saw, I think Jennilee teased that you were protesting the Zynga offices in Chicago.
The clone, let us clone. Yeah. I have that slide still. It's one of my favorite slides. I'm going to bring it up.
That cracked me up.
From Chicago, and then I remembered I randomly spit out that I was in Chicago.
And I'm thinking, because if you Google the offices in Chicago, it's just like it's in a business park somewhere. It's like nowhere fancy. And so I really thought that you were here. And so I was like looking outside, like trying to figure out what was going on. And I realized it was a joke.
That's funny. So you're not in the you're not in the big building then. In the one that do they still have the one with the big Zynga logo on the outside?
Yeah, that's our San Fran headquarters. So we have offices all over the world. But the one in San Fran, that's our biggest one. That's the headquarters. But the VIP team, we all sit in Chicago.
Ah, gotcha. Cool. So ultimately, to reach out to us, Jennilee and I was, refresh my memory one more time. Just you always found it fascinating, right? And you were like,
oh yeah, no, I thought it was hysterical. So I just had to reach out. I wanted to see, and clearly y'all are well connected. And I was like, all right, what's going on here? Who do I got to know? And so I live for this kind of
stuff.
That's cool.
I love it. Well, we really tried. I know to connect to you, to Zynga. I know that when I first started live streaming, I was a moderator of another Facebook group, and there was like 18,000 people in the group, and we tried live streaming, and it was really rickety. I used a little tripod, and I recorded my screen, and it was really successful. And then I thought, wow, this might be a good way of contacting someone from Zynga. Maybe they'll notice what we're doing and want to talk to us. So, it took 18 or so episodes, which is extremely fast. And as far as I know, we're the only one that do live stream FarmVille, at least do it, regularly, consistently, and successfully. So that is one of our biggest reasons, because we had players reaching out to the Facebook group saying we need to talk to them and they're not listening. And so I felt it important that I should try. And so I sent emails and finally we just started making videos. Right, Jennilee?
Right.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, y'all have been doing an excellent job. I love watching and listening, and it sounds like your strategy worked.
Yay.
Hey, Lad, do you have a favorite episode or discussion that we've done on the show?
I think there are I mean, I could just listen to y'all talk. Like, I put it on in the background, and, I'm doing other kinds of things, but I think one of my favorite discussions or moments was I actually found out from y'all first about the three-headed animals. You know what I'm talking about?
I remember that.
that glitch that was going on in the game with the three-headed animals, and I was like, what? And so that cracked me up. I definitely turned my head real quick when I heard y'all talk about that. So I think that was real funny.
That was cool.
That was funny. I think I've still seen it since then too.
Yeah, they've been lurking around. I had them on my game, and so I kept having to refresh to get them to go away. It was cracking me up.
I love the glitches. I love when the pigs are in the trees. It's one of my favorite ones. I'm trying to get him there now, but he's not cooperating.
Sometimes the most fun things about the game are the unexpected things.
That's true.
Do you have any advice or suggestions for us to make our show better? Is there anything that you think we should talk about on our show?
I honestly don't. I was thinking, y'all are just doing a fantastic job. I mean, people are coming and watching your show, and I think it really speaks to how much they enjoy it, and I wouldn't change a thing. Y'all are doing a really excellent job, and I love watching as well.
Have you guys had, just sorry to interrupt you, Jen, have you guys had anybody email you guys about our live stream, Lad?
Yeah, I mean, I think you actually have some VIPs that watch, and so people will write out and talk about how much fun they have coming to your weekly shows and watching them and things like that too. So yeah, you have some eyes.
Thank you guys in the chat room. You guys are so nice to Jennilee and I.
Thank you.
So did you, I think, Jennilee, you wanted to ask something about, well, I think you have the next question, Jennilee.
Oh, you do? Is this a one-time thing you're going to do with us, or are you going to be back to join us again sometime?
Yeah, so I think I can, unclear at the moment, but I think, maybe in the future, some kind of smaller segments or things like that once in a while, I would always love to pop in. I mean, what y'all are doing is you're cultivating a really cool fan base, and I love just watching you play while you talk, and you're actually teaching me things too. So I'm always kind of here and hanging out, and sometimes I'm able to join live, sometimes not. But yeah, I mean, I could foresee something in the future that'd be really fun.
Sweet, that'd be great. Yeah, even if it was just like, a pre-recorded message to us or whatever. I mean, I'd be happy with anything from you guys.
Sure. Yeah, I'm always here hanging out. So.
Well, when you're talking about the game, have you done anything silly? Like, Scott gets really excited. If you watch, he gets really excited when he gets his cow milk. And even more excited when he gets the double cow milk.
Sure, make fun of me. Let's try to get double cow milk right now. Oh, one from that guy.
Is there anything, like any quirk in the game that gets you excited when you see it or when it happens?
Oh, didn't get it.
I think when I'm playing the game, I have OCD. So my favorite thing to do on the farm is just rearrange my farm over and over again.
Oh, I hate doing that.
It's my favorite because it's like the farm it's shaped weirdly. Like on the one side you have more, like on the further away part of the farm you have like in that corner you have way more space. So I try to experiment, like what if I stick my trees over there? But it's the animal pens that get me. Like it drives me insane how much space they take up, and I want them to be like perfectly in rows. And so I spend all my time arranging and rearranging that kind of stuff.
Nice.
I agree. That drives me crazy too. The animals, I want to put them next to each other, but their blocks are so goofy shaped. And yes, I'm with you.
Yes, and you know the one cow. What is it? Crazy cow? The one that has like the fence that comes with it too. When you
with the 3 milks. Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, yeah. It bothers me that he has a fence and no one else has a fence. You know.
Is that one in like the for sale things? I don't know where that one is. The Jersey. Oh,
yeah.
The cozy cow. The cozy cow. Here it is.
The cozy cow. I called it the crazy cow.
240 keys. Oh man, that's too rich for my blood right now. But I would.
You gotta watch a lot of ads.
I wonder if, would I get 6 milk from that cow though? Because that would be truly remarkable. If I got 3 milk, would it double it on that on my mastery? Because I get 2 sometimes out of my. That'd be excellent if you guys could.
Yeah, that gives you another chance. So if you got the 15% or whatever with that one, you'd get 6 instead of the 3, right?
Wow! And then if someone speed seeded it or friendship fertilized it, I get like 12.
Get a lot of milk.
Like overloaded. Wow! I would only have to like log in for 5 minutes a day to get my milk. That's great.
Lad, have you named any of your animals?
You know, I like naming. So I play another game called Stardew Valley. And I, you know, you actually can physically name your animals in there. So I have a list of animal names that I have in my head. So I like naming my animals people names. So my chickens are named Tiffany, and I have another one named Tina. And so I kind of, you know, but my animals are kind of the same names across all my games. So one of my cat's name is Karen. So
nice. I just play the game. I don't rearrange my farm. I don't name my animals, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, we spend so much time on it. Sometimes it's fun to have those little quirks. I name all of my my not prized animals, but you know how you can get the pig or the sheep for 3 days and you feed them, stuff them. And their names, you can edit them. So the first couple I did were all like my family, like my mom, my sister. I named them all. And then I started using Harry Potter names for the rest of my animals.
You should be able to name the animals.
On the road, so you can click on them and it says their name.
Wait, what? Say that again?
Once you do these animals, the show animals, that's it, and you have them walking on your road, if you click on them, anytime during the game, you can click on them and it'll show you the name.
Oh.
I just renamed my pig Lad.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to find it. Let's see. Frosty the pig, Pickles the pig. Where is he? I don't see him.
I see.
He's not walking around, but he says he's there. Look. Oh, what the heck? I thought I renamed him.
You might be able to find him.
See, I gotta tell you, y'all really teach me things. I feel like you keep me fresh.
Lad the pig.
Because you know when I'm like working, there's so many things I'm doing. Country Escape's always on, but I don't get to play as much as I would like. You know what I mean? Like I really want to sit here and play a lot. Now that I know this, now I really am about to go rename all my animals.
Look, I named my pig Lad the pig. Do you see it on your screen?
Wait, let me look.
Perfect.
I like that the name is Lad the pig.
Well, they were all the pig because if you looked at I'll open it up, it'll show up for a little bit in you guys. But we have Frosty the pig, Pickles the pig, and Lad the pig. So I think that's cool.
Look at me at 124 pounds.
I sucked at it. I don't do them very often. I don't know. The guys in our co-op, they do these pigs and stuff, and they make these huge pigs. But,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice if you can get someone that's helping you work on that together, and that's oftentimes there's so many events going on that it's hard to really focus in on this kind of stuff, but they are cool to collect if you can do it right.
That's true. And want to hear a really funny story, Lad, about the pigs?
Yes.
So, Jennilee and I came from a co-op that blew up, like that melted down, the leader went crazy and whatnot. But I was doing a pig with the co-op leader, or a goat or something. I was doing something with her, and she kicked me out. And on my new co-op, I was still doing the pig with her. So I just let it starve. I was like, nope, not doing it. So it died.
Only slightly petty, but that's good. That's good.
So speaking of doing petty things, being that you're the all-powerful lad from Zynga. Have you ever messed with someone's farm? Like, are you able to log into someone else's account, rearrange their entire farm backwards, and then like when they log back in, they think something horrible has completely happened?
So I totally could. Have I? No. No, I have not.
That would be so fun.
In trying to figure out how to be the best I can be at the job, I have moved around my own farm and things like that. So there are interesting things that could happen if I really wanted to, but I wouldn't. I would never.
I think it'd be cool.
That's awesome.
Okay, Jen, you're up.
Sorry, I'm responding to some messages.
Oh.
Let me see. Would you be able to, from time to time, give us access to information before the general public?
Ooh, this would be cool.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that I am excited about is when they actually went live on Facebook Studio.
Yeah, so on Facebook too, on Facebook's page, the FarmVille2 site went live for about an hour, but there was not a lot of notice that they were going live. That's what you mean?
Yep. So what I would actually like to be able to do is, in knowing these things in advance, I would love to be able to share that with you and your all your followers, so that when they do go live, you can be on there and asking those kinds of questions yourself directly to the studio.
Well,
my in so I can share that with all of you.
Jennilee, did you hear that? Because he was kind of cutting out for me.
Oh no!
A little bit for me too.
Okay,
well,
say that last bit again, lad.
Sure. So I'm making a goal of mine to figure out when those things are kind of happening a little bit further in advance.
Gotcha.
Because I would love to be able to share that with you and your following as well.
Yeah, anything that you think we could share early or give us a sneak preview for would be fantastic. But we do have another question for you, and I know that everybody in the chat room is kind of waiting and listening and wanting to know all of this crazy information. And I know that we sent you a whole pile of questions, and I know they were questions from VIPs on how to be a VIP, and I know there were questions on game glitches and suggestions on bigger barns and silos and why can't the co-op doors work, and there was stuff like that. And then there's of course the cloning question or the cloning experiment, and we asked you all those questions, and just so our listeners can have an understanding of better understanding of the information you can tell us and the stuff that you can't tell us, can you just talk about that for a bit? I mean, we did send you a pile of stuff, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I know that those are always like the hot ticket items that people want to know about. These kinds of things that are happening in the game, or events that are coming up, and things like that. It's hard because so when I think about mobile games and the products, it's just like any other company that is like has products out on the market or games out on the market. So much of that information is kind of kept secret, and I think one of the reasons is there's quite a few competitors that are putting out kind of farm-like games and things like that, and it would be you'd be crazy to think that these kinds of competitors aren't looking at each other and seeing what kind of features are going on in those kinds of games and things like that too. So a lot of this information is kind of kept under lock and chain because I think the success of the game actually thrives on the element of surprise. Something we call like surprise and delight. And so we want really exciting things to come out. So we are always listening to player feedback, but we don't always report on it right away because we could be working on it or hatching some plans in the studio and things like that we like to surprise you all with. So I think that is actually one of the things that keeps us going, is actually not being able to share those kinds of things. And I think the second point that I would name too here is that we never want to overpromise and underdeliver. We always want it to be the opposite. So in terms of like timelines of things, like everyone wanted to know when the boat races were coming out for everyone and things like that. So we actually we kind of underdeliver there. We don't sometimes if there's a glitch with the game or a bug with the game, that timeline might actually get pushed back. And so we would never want to say in X number of weeks everyone will have it. And then if that doesn't happen, everyone's disappointed. You know what I mean? So some things are just better, we found over time, to kind of keep to ourselves. And even though I know it drives everyone crazy, I would say those are really the reasons why a lot of that kind of information can't be shared.
I gotcha. So we're going to talk a little bit later on about suggestions and what to do when we have suggestions. So that answers a lot of our questions, or a lot of the reasons you can't talk about specific things. Unfortunately, we'd all love to know, what's the results of the cloning experiment, or what's the reasons behind it, or are they going to get rid of cloning, or who knows what. But it does make sense that it's kind of really none of our business, first of all, and second of all, you guys have to think about that other elements, those other things.
Sure.
Yeah, that does make good sense.
Yeah. I mean, it drives me crazy too. I want to share as much as possible. I think that kind of stuff is so important and really exciting for me as well. So it's a hard role that I play.
Yeah. Well, and it's difficult too because we ask the questions and we have the questions, and lots of times they just don't answer them, or they give us email support and they just send us around and around and around, and it's very frustrating because they're just saying the same things over and over again. Like that last episode we talked about, there was one person who sent in like 12 or 13 or 15 tickets on the cloning, and she just kept on repeating herself, and they kept on repeating themselves back in a slightly different way. But like, it's frustrating, right? And that's why I think it's good that you can explain to us why you can't talk about things as opposed to, and then other things that you can talk about. So it's important. I mean, that's good. And I mean, as long as there's communication and that you're hearing us and Zynga's hearing us, that's what we really want to have happen.
Yeah. I mean, so much of our game is driven by what our players are sharing, and across all media. And so it's I think what's really exciting about that is it shows that you're passionate about the game and that you're loyal to the game, and those are things that we really do care about. So keep sending in those tickets, keep writing out on Facebook and hear of all the different ideas and things that you're looking for, and we do listen to those, and we look at those every day.
Awesome. Okay, and I got a quick question about your job, because I know that you work for Zynga, but I was just curious to know what kind of education, like for what you do as a VIP account manager, if one of our listeners wants to get a job at Zynga, in fact, I think there's a job posting for a VIP account manager, what sort of education or qualifications did you need to do your job?
Yeah, great question. So I actually came from a background of education myself, and so I prior to this role here, I was actually with Teach for America, and so in doing that, I was really looking to make a career switch when I joined the Zynga team into the video game realm, and I had always just been a gamer at heart. Growing up, I was kind of a child of the internet, and I come from a small town, so that's where I was making all my friends and that kind of stuff too. So I think, as an account manager or at Zynga overall, we're looking for people who are really those kinds of gamer types at heart. But also, as you can imagine, there are quite a few players and things like that. So a lot of the focus that was kind of put on me during the interview process was on, efficiency and being able to, kind of get down to work. It's a lot of my day is being able to connect with VIPs, and the other part of the day is connecting with the studio to make this game as great as possible. So if you have that kind of organizational mindset and gaming is where your heart is, I think a company like Zynga is a really fantastic place to be.
So did you search Indeed or companies that had job postings? Did you seek out Zynga? Like, is it something that you said, hey, this would be really cool to work for? And,
Yeah, I was playing the original FarmVille on Facebook back in 2009. So when I actually decided to get into the game realm, I looked at all the different companies that I love their games, and Zynga was one of them. And so when I came across this job posting, I thought it would just be fantastic.
That's cool.
Yeah, yep, I would absolutely recommend it.
Very, very, very awesome.
Lad, you're making me wonder, how old are you, if you can answer that very inappropriate question?
Yeah, no, I'm 28, so yeah.
Interesting question, Jennilee.
Yeah.
Well, it made me feel old when he said he grew up with playing games and stuff on the internet.
Okay. I didn't have the internet when I was growing up. That's funny.
Well, I was doing
we weren't allowed to use it.
Oh, yeah. I feel like, like AOL Instant Messenger and dial-up and all that, I was right there when it was all happening. So
Nice. Yeah, dial-up internet was crazy. It was fun.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything cool that you get when you go to work, any cool benefits, free food, or a game room, stuff that you hear, like I know Google has crazy stuff like that, like massages. Do you have anything cool like that?
Not too crazy. So there are snacks.
There's snacks. That's awesome. I would work there just for the snacks. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know. The big tech, these fun. Always a real nice perk. I've never experienced that before, but you know what? I used to work from home in my old job, and so now it's just being in the office is nice.
Sure.
It's a lot of fun. There is a game room. We do, we take our job seriously, so we're always playing games ourselves and that kind of stuff. So
what sort of games are in the game room?
I have a blast. So the game room is just it's blank, but when people we have like a Switch port in there, so anyone can kind of bring their Switches and play games on the big TV. But you know, like after like meetings and that, like we'll bring different kinds of consoles and all that. And but you know, what's really fun is the account managers while they're so like I have up on my second monitor, I have Country Escape going all the time.
Nice.
So there's just constantly games going, and everyone's having a blast.
Okay, so describe a typical work day, lad. Like, tell me what you do, get up till when you go to bed.
Sure. So I get up, I go all the way into work, checking my emails. You know, it's not that exciting or anything like that, but you know, the majority of my day is actually, and every single day is spent working with VIPs and getting their issues resolved, getting their feedback, bringing that to the studio, and really, I mean, that's it across all different kinds of communications. So that's like the bulk of my day. And then once a week, I'm actually with the studio directly in figuring out, you know, what the new features are coming out. So I know that kind of information when issues are arising, I can be able to resolve those issues pretty quickly. But also to, on the other hand, share back the different kinds of feedback and things that I'm getting from the players so that they can think about developing their own features too. So that's honestly my day every day.
Wow, cool. Oh, Jen's typing away.
Woo! Yeah, y'all's chat is blowing up. I'm over here watching it. Wait, can I? Frank is like famous. Y'all are always joking about Frank.
He's super famous. Absolutely.
You have like a nickname for him. What is it? I forget.
Frank, of course.
Frank, of course. There it is. Yeah, that always cracks me up. I was wondering if Frank would be here today.
Yes. Oh, Frank's never missed an episode. When he misses an episode, it's a bad day for Frank.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is cool. I think it's Jen's question, right?
Yes. What other games do you play? You've mentioned a few already, but what all games do you play?
Yeah, so at Zynga, I'm playing. I do play. So I actually play all the FarmVille games. So I play FarmVille 1 and 2. I play Country Escape and Tropic Escape. So
somebody said they didn't make FarmVille. They didn't. That FarmVille 1 wasn't going anymore. I heard that, so that's not true.
No, it's still running.
Huh. Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just.
No, you're fine. I mean, they just released a new farm. So FarmVille 1's gig now is they keep releasing farms, and so every time you're kind of bored or sick of a farm, there's a new one that comes out, and you just play on that one.
Nice.
Whereas like Escape and Set come out on the same farm, so that's always really fun. But it's like it's a little bit older technology and all that stuff too. So I think Country Escape's my favorite, but on Tropic right now, my family and I are all.
They're all what? Sorry?
We're chatting as a family.
Sorry, I heard that you're playing Tropic Escape, and then you cut out a little bit. You said your family is playing, like you have a co-op with your family?
Yeah, we're all running. They call them beach clubs in Tropic Escape, so we're all we're in a beach club together.
I can't imagine playing more than one escape game or more than one game to be, with all the stuff that I do with the live stream and everything, like to play multiple games for me, it's just like, nope, that's it, just Country Escape.
Yeah, I have to take it some a little more seriously than others, or else you find your whole evening is gone every day.
Nice. I want to talk about something that our co-op, actually, I'm going to bring a slide up if that's okay, guys. I know you have another question, Jen, but I'm going to bring a slide up first, if that's cool. Jen, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yay, okay, I wasn't sure. You never know. You might be around. All right, so I got sent this today. It's on my screen now, and it's a weird box, and it's got a yellow thingy on the top, and it's called a Blackberry Crate. And Jennilee, you never heard of this before, right?
No.
And I don't think Lad's ever heard of it before until tonight either, right, Lad?
Right.
You had to Google it earlier. I saw you, or
I
heard you doing it. Anyways, someone sent me this, and they said everybody has this, and I'm like, I don't have this. Jennilee doesn't have this. Like, what's going on? Why don't I have this? And then I'm like, it's got to be a VIP perk, because I know that VIPs get perks from time to time. And so I was like, what the heck is this? So just for fun, I'm going to turn my slide off so that you can see. just for fun, I went to my for sale items, and I clicked on the little star, or the little exclamation mark, and lo and behold, I have something called a blackberry crate. And this blackberry crate I can drag out. Jennilee, can you see it yet?
Not yet.
Okay, it's coming. I'm going to place it down. Anyways, you can see now it's on my farm, and I just got 2 blackberries out of it. And it says that it's ready again in 4 minutes, 54 seconds. And it'll do 2, and there's 9 harvests remaining. So I was like, how the heck did I get this? So I Googled it, and I came up with, it was a boat race prize. Jennilee, did you know that you can get blackberry crates from the boat race?
No, I had no idea.
And it's probably on your farm, because I think we won it that very first week. And I think that's such a cool thing. Like, there should be, like, for quartz, they should have all this kind of stuff. And I mean, if you ever need extra stuff, you just click on your crate and boom, you got it. Isn't that sweet? And why the heck did it take us this long to find it? Like, seriously, it's been out for, since we won that on the boat race. Anyways, our co-op listening, click on your blackberry crate, get it out, use it up. That's sweet.
Yeah, I actually had no idea until you just said something. And then I looked on Google and I was like, what? And lo and behold, there it is.
It's freaky. It's like so cool. Anyways, I didn't mean to interrupt your line of questioning, Jen. I just wanted to show everybody this blackberry crate. Chatters, I'm not sure if you guys have it or not, but if you get the boat races, you can win. And I think there is other crates. From what I was quickly reading online, there is other crates. So that is a cool piece of information.
I'm gonna have to keep my eye out. I gotta put those crates on my farm now.
That is really cool, and it kind of leads into my next question. What is your favorite feature of FarmVille, and what do you enjoy the most in Country Escape?
Yeah, I think, let me see here. Let me go to my Country Escape. I'm playing the game right now as we chat as well. So for a while, before I started working at Zynga, it was looking at the I love being able to like watch the different ads so that you can, get the little 1 key every time. And I just wanted to save up those keys. So I love that feature that you were able to get those. But I would have to say the Prospector's Corner is probably my favorite thing, because I have a strategy.
Uh-oh.
So I have an affinity for the number 3. So I always play 3 times. But I always think like, if I pan right now, are any of the prizes worth it for me, based on how much I have to spend to play? And so I kind of assign values to all the different things and how I'd be willing to pay for them. Odds don't for me, I won't play it. And so I find it's just fun for me. Like, I feel like I'm playing the stock market or something like that. I have a lot of fun trying to decide if I want to keep pushing my luck or not, and that kind of stuff too. So I have a lot of fun at the corner.
I'm too stingy to spend keys at the corner. But, I mean,
yeah,
I have done it once when I really needed a shovel, and there was 2 shovels. I've done it a few times actually, but you know what I mean. You have that chance of hitting more keys or getting shovels or locks or something, and you're like, sure, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, I know. It's risky, but sometimes it's so worth it,
That's true. And I'm going to let you talk about more of your features that you like about FarmVille. But before I do, chat room, I know you guys are asking a lot of questions, and anything that we can form as a question and email Lad to get an answer from, we're going to. But we wanted to really jam-pack as much as we can of the communication between Lad and us and get as much info out there as possible. So we do apologize for not reading and greeting all you guys like we normally do. But I wanted to say I'm sorry, because obviously we love you guys to bits. And, Jennilee and Lad, if you do see any questions in the chatter room that you want to chime in on, feel free.
Cool.
Yeah. I feel like I'm making some people upset. There's lots of questions on the board, and they want me to read them out loud, but I'm trying to explain that we have certain questions that we're going to get to, and we might even be getting some of their questions at the same time.
Yeah. And so you all know Scott does a really good job representing you all. So I did get a list of questions in advance that I know are burning thoughts on y'all's minds. And I did try my best, y'all. But, again, back to this idea of what I can answer and what I can't answer and things like that. So just know that Scott really is repping you all well.
And honestly, I do send all of the suggestions that you guys have into like toward Lad, as well as maybe we can. I know this is quite farther in our little questioning, Jennilee, but Lad, do you have any suggestions on how to get the message to Zynga, or like if they use support or the forums or Facebook, like what's the best way for players to communicate? And when they do communicate and they get an auto reply that says, thanks for replying, we'll be sure to send it to the studio, does it even make a difference? Like, do people get it?
Yeah, it absolutely does. So as you can imagine, lots and lots of tickets kind of come our way. And so what I would say is, everything's being looked at. And so when your idea or your suggestion, kind of comes through, I tally those, and that's what happens on the support side too. So when we get a lot of different suggestions, there might be tallies across the board. And if one or two people are saying something, it doesn't hold a whole lot of weight. But if a bunch of people are saying something, or a bunch of people have kind of a similar idea or suggestion, that's when those things start to get lofted up. But it's kind of like voting. You still have to do it because you never know how things are going to turn out, but your voice matters, So even if you don't see a personal, something happens because it was your idea, like, that's okay. Keep laughing that stuff up. For example, the bingo event that just came out, that never would have kind of escalated again had we not seen so much favorable kind of feedback on the bingo event. It literally only came back because so many people were looking forward to it. We didn't know that it was such a cool, popular thing. So it is voices like yours, and even if, your response kind of seems a little hammed out or something like that, they do take those into account for sure.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Does that mean we're going to be seeing the bingo event come again?
You just may. I'm not sure. I know that the bingo event, the one that just happened again, had a lot of really cool feedback. We had we had a blast putting that back out there. As I don't know if y'all saw, but they were running a competition on the fan page on Facebook, and some players' faces were being drawn as caricatures on the bodies of the players inside the game.
I was so jealous.
Yeah, I know. So that stuff was happening. I mean, it was just a blast. So you just may see it again.
That would be cool. Yes. And I do have another question, or actually not a question per se, or maybe a question, but I finished the event, everybody. I can't believe I actually finished this, not the Animal Hotel, but the other one that we just had, the one with the pirate games. I finished it. I got my farmhand. I'm so happy. But I want to talk about the Animal Hotel for a second, because there's a few things that I find really interesting. First of all, it's the time limit on this Animal Hotel. 30 days, 19 hours, 22 minutes to go. That's a huge amount of time for an event. And then I was reading underneath this tab that talks about this leaderboard. The leaderboard will unlock in 26 days, 4 hours. And then it says, build a 5-star hotel before the completion starts to compete in the Animal Hotel Showdown and win the dog butler for 7 extra days. So there was kind of some confusion on if the dog butler, is that the prize for the leaderboard, or is the leaderboard going to have your typical permanent leaderboard? I don't know if you know any of this information, Lad. We didn't send you this question, but I found it interesting that this event turns into a leaderboard, which is really weird.
Yeah. So it's an interesting kind of because it was the first time that the Animal Hotel came out. There is a guide for the Animal Hotel that is out there on the website, and it looks like, let me see here. I'm actually gonna, so I don't know offhand, but let me quick take a glance here, and I can let you know.
I think it's under, I think I can Google it as well. I think there's a guide for it, yes, but I don't think it gets into the whole leaderboard thing.
Yeah, so what happens is if you complete all the phases, you get the dog butler, and he stays on your farm for 7 days, and the dog can can get you any item that you want. So we call a prize grabber.
Right.
So you can, any item that if you win the leaderboard event, he stays on for an additional 7 days as well.
Oh, I see. So that does clear that up, because we weren't sure if the leaderboard event was going to be a permanent farmhand like they typically are, or if it just is 7 extra days. So that does clear that up. And I mean, things may change before now and 30 days from now too. So who knows if that'll be the case ultimately, but it does make things interesting. To have an event turn into another event, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is fun. That little, two-parter keeps things fresh and interesting.
Yeah, and you have to be level 5 to get to the end. Now, I do have another interesting thing. I've been saving all my upgrade points. So when you finish an order, you get these points for your animal hotel, and then you get these upgrade points. And all I've been spending mine on is this very last one that says gain 5x for more hospitality and upgrade points from all critic orders. The problem I have, it's not a problem per se, but for some reason I thought I was going to get 5x from everything. And only very, very once in a while does a little symbol come up that say 5x or 3x on one of these orders. But when it does come up, you sure get a pile of points. But it's interesting how, like, I don't know, chatters, if you're sticking all of your upgrade points into a specific one. Jennilee, are you playing this right now?
Playing
the Animal Hotel?
Oh, I think I'm on the second.
Have you put anything into animal upgrades or into these upgrades?
Yes, I've been using them each time, so it gives you like a more percentage.
Yeah, more percentage back. But I've just been dumping it in this last option because 5 times points. Like if you look at this one, 5 times points, like that's like 600 or 800 points that you would get if there was this critic thing that popped up. I'm just not sure how often it pops up. So did I waste all my points? Anyways, that's just me. That's just me playing. Who knows? Oh, cool. All right, so let me see where we're at with questions, Jennilee, because I can't remember where I left off.
We kind of skipped one because we got into the bingo one, but I was going to ask, can you give us any other interesting facts about FarmVille?
You know what's so funny to me is this is one thing that I find really personally funny. I get complaints sometimes that Marie is kind of ravaging people's farms and stealing all these items out of there.
Really?
Have you ever heard of this, Marie being like a thief? Yeah. So you know how if you put items in the market and it doesn't sell, okay. Once a day Marie will come purchase these things that you're out of your farm for you,
right?
To give you that space back. So at one point there was a glitch happening where every time someone purchased something from you, instead of their profile picture, a picture of Marie would pop up. And so for a while, it looked like Marie was just stealing all these things that were meant for co-ops or
nice.
or for others. And so I was getting these reports that Marie was coming and stealing all these things. So I that's that cracked me up so much. I always think about that. And someone actually just wrote me about this the other day too. So I like pretending like Marie's this like huge thief on the farm that just goes around stealing all your stuff.
Nice. I noticed too when you talked about showing the persons who's bought the image. I know that on our farm, like on my screen right now, I've got a couple of fields that show a little head, right, instead of who actually farm fertilized them.
Yep.
And I don't know why, but like that's been an ongoing thing for forever. It must use some sort of big resources or something to properly populate that, and I don't know why it's always there. But I mean, it happens with everybody, and it's kind of, we've all been used to it, but it is frustrating for sure.
Yeah. So what you're seeing there is actually it's difficult with Facebook. So since like the whole Facebook the Cambridge Analytica and all that kind of stuff was happening with Facebook and the privacy settings. So Facebook put on a lot of different privacy settings that are new, and so depending on how people kind of decided to go about sharing or not sharing certain personal information about themselves, that changed the game for all social games that use Facebook as a general platform to connect. So what happens sometimes is the social features work really well and sometimes they don't. And that, we're seeing that kind of across all of our FarmVille games right now too. So that's kind of what you're seeing as a product of is because these things are Facebook dependent. That's where the profile pictures are coming from. And it's a pro and con of working with another company to put things in your game. So this is always something that we are keeping our eye on. We are always doing fixes for this and this kind of stuff too. So not cause for alarm or anything like that. It'll come and go for a while.
Yeah, it's more annoying. I'm wondering if a server-based game, like how you can't play the Pet Hotel, or no, the Pet Hotel you can play, but there's certain features you can't play unless you're online. Like you can't use the market and stuff unless you're online. I'm wondering if going to a complete server-based system, which would eliminate the Facebook part of it, would solve some of these issues. I wonder if that's more pain, like if it's more trouble. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I always have all these questions and ideas, but it seems to me that a lot of things could be avoided if you just got rid of the Facebook element of it. But
yeah, that makes sense to me. I think that if it was, I think it's the idea that, you can invite your friends on Facebook and your friends can play with you. And, the social aspect of the game is the most important part. That's, Zynga's whole thing is connecting people through gaming and doing good through gaming and things like that too. So certainly things that are being thought about all the time, I'm sure.
Oh, interesting. And now let's talk about farmhands for a second, because I know there's a lot of people who do events and they always want a permanent farmhand. Like almost all leaderboards have a permanent farmhand, but most of the other events, they don't include a permanent farmhand. And I mean, when I send people to, I don't know, the mine, let's see if I can send people. I don't think I can send anybody to the mine. I think I can send them to the Glade here. I'm just going to click on it. Sure. So I've got a pile of farmhands, but why isn't every event, why doesn't we get a permanent one from every event? And why, is there like a limitation?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So, sometimes the events are permanent once in a blue moon, but most of the time they're kind of temporary and our farmhands kind of come and go. So when I think about that, I mean, permanent farmhands are far more valuable. And so when those events are happening really hard and that kind of stuff. But the temporary farmhands they are more special than the farmhands because they do give you a 50% better drop rate on some of the. So that's huge. When I think about the reason why all of the different things aren't always permanent, it is because the more bogged down the game becomes. And so what other games have seen in the past is once games are more bogged down, it's slower to play for people. The file size on your phone or your device might get larger, and so a lot of times people are playing on Kindle and things like that can't support it any longer. So we want to keep our game as light and fresh as possible with the best experience in gameplay. What that means is that not every single farmhand can be temporary because we don't want to bog down the game. Or I'm sorry, permanent. So that's why you do see a lot of different kinds of temporary people as well. We want to make sure the gameplay is fresh for you all.
So when a permanent one comes and goes, like say Marvelous Mom, she's my favorite and I have her. But let's say, for example, that I didn't win her. There's obviously lots of people who don't have Marvelous Mom. I'm wondering if there would ever be a consideration of having some sort of a prize selection where you could win one of these other farmhands for a week or a month or whatever. Like, I mean, you guys have them all in there ready, right? So I'm thinking you should repurpose them, or if it would be possible. I mean, I think it's a cool idea, but
yeah,
there's so many that I don't have, and I can only imagine, like, if you had one every permanent farmhand, how many you would have. Like, you'd have more than you'd ever even need to put in all of your cookers all of the time, or all of the areas.
Right.
But I think it'd be neat because, I mean, they're there already, so why not reuse them, right? Like, give us
sure.
You could maybe have a selection of the 3 or 4 that you have, and you could just pick one, or you could have ones that do better odds at doing certain things. So you were chopping out a little bit back and forth a few minutes ago when you were talking about temporary versus permanent, and I just wanted to clarify. You did say that a temporary farmhand gives you much better odds of getting a event item than a permanent farmhand. So if I was to take my 30-day hand that I just won from my pirate games and use them versus my Marvelous Mom that I got permanent, I would have more success at getting stuff through the temporary hand, right?
Yes, that's correct, and it gives that temporary hand a little bit more value because again, like I'm playing really hard for a permanent farmhand. I want to be excited about the temporary one too. So yeah, it does have a higher chance for those event item drop rates, and I know how hard those things can be to get. Sometimes the events have pretty low drop rates. So
gotcha. Okay, and then you also mentioned that the reason why they're not all permanent is because if they had to make every farmhand permanent, it would bog the game down, and people would have problems with loading times and stuff. You were just cutting in about, so I just wanted to kind of summarize what I heard.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm cutting in and
No,
out
that's
so
okay.
much.
Yeah, it was just a little bit on the last one. That's cool. No problem.
I really am in a dark dungeon, it seems.
So I've always wondered, in a dark dungeon, you got to go upstairs, lad, to get the good stuff. I've always wondered if the employees of Zynga have like an employee discount plan. Like, do keys cost you as much as they cost me?
So they do, yes. And it's really interesting because I've spent money in these games for sure. But yeah, no, it's the same.
So no special discount. So, but you could probably, if you really wanted to, just go into your account and give yourself a bunch of stuff anyways.
If I wanted to, I could. But I feel like it takes the fun out of the game. There's no point in playing.
That's true. And what about for your co-op? Does your co-op know that you're who you are?
So my co-op is very small. There's only a couple people in it to understand the different features of the game, like boat races, and being able to understand how those work and play those too. So my co-op understands that I actually can't play all the time, so I'm not doing my co-op a really great service. They're actually picking up a lot of slack from me constantly, but they're kind enough to let me sit in there.
But do they know that you're a Zynga employee? Like, that's kind of a question. Like, you guys have...
They do.
You and Amanda and all those other people in the VIP, they know, you guys tell them that you're VIP managers and stuff? That's funny.
No, so we don't all do that.
Okay.
I'm probably the only one that... but, they were kind enough, because my problem was I kept getting booted out of co-ops because I wasn't able to contribute. So this one was like, all right, we'll let you stay. We'll pick up the slack. So they were kind enough to let me do that.
So it must be awesome for that co-op, because if they have a problem, like say their co-op doors are broken or something, I mean, you could just be like, support, deal with this right now. Boom, send.
No.
No special treatment for your co-op. Okay.
Yeah, I've always got to put roles down and things like that. I just can't, because the problem is then if I don't follow up on that kind of stuff, I break people's hearts and ruin expectations. I don't want all that, so I keep everything streamlined and consistent.
Nice. Awesome. So we've run through a lot of questions today. Jennilee, is there anything in chat that you wanted to yell out? I know that we haven't given the chatters a lot of time to answer questions or ask questions, but I haven't been reading it. So if you wanted to take a few seconds and talk about that, if there's anything there, that'd be cool.
I really don't like that you just did that, because there are so many questions.
There's thousands. Okay, I'm sorry.
So if I were to just try to pick something out, that would you're overwhelming me here.
Okay, well, I'll let you look for a second, and then maybe we can ask Lad if he has any. Like, I know once in a while he's able to share some stuff with us. Is there any secrets or hints or mysteries or possible I don't know, Easter eggs or anything you can possibly tell us in the future?
Yeah, so I can't get too specific or in depth or in detail. However, I did want to let you all know that there are some incredibly exciting things that are being planned right now that you're actually going to be seeing sooner rather than later. And so kind of closer, certainly before the end of the year and over the next couple months, you're going to be seeing some things that are going to change up the game pretty significantly. Not, in the general gameplay, the spirit of the game will still be there too, but you're actually going to see some new ways to engage, some new ways to expand, some new ways to send gifts to friends. You're going to be seeing a lot of really cool things come down the pike. And so I am quite excited to let you all know that things are still going, still fresh, still new, and all that kind of stuff too. So keep an eye out for that kind of stuff.
So there's no danger of FarmVille2 Country Escape being, shelved in the near future.
No. There's just more fun to come.
Yay! And I know that there was some secrets let out on the FarmVille2 Facebook page about like a new trading feature, and I think that's kind of maybe what you were alluding to. And I know that you can't really discuss it, but that is cool that they're working on some of those things, because I know some of our listeners were really frustrated on certain things about the co-op, like communication-wise, leaving messages for players. So it's good to know that you guys are working on stuff like that.
Yeah, that's our, the social aspect of this game is the most important for us. So issues of co-op chats not loading and that kind of stuff, those are things that we are working so hard on. And you're actually going to start seeing a lot of new features of how to interact with your friends.
That's cool.
And so we are going to spice that part of the game up.
Will they be going through Facebook, though? Because that'd be bad.
Unclear.
Okay.
Unclear.
All right.
I'm not sure of the details yet.
All right. Well, we tried to get you secrets out from you guys, but Lad's pretty tight-lipped. But it makes good sense. I mean, obviously, Zynga can't talk about certain things for obvious reasons, and I think the bridge of communication that Lad and I have built up over the last month that we've been chatting back and forth has been tremendous and fantastic. And, you know, I've had people from Zynga ask me specifically what I think, as opposed to me telling Zynga what I think. And I think that's really, 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 you know, amazing. I mean, that a game, you know, to go back, and Lad talked about this at the beginning. He said that he didn't know anybody who live streamed FarmVille, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to do it with Jennilee and to live stream, because nobody did it. And you know, if you live stream Minecraft, you know, and Microsoft owns Minecraft, there's no chance that you're going to have a developer come and talk to you and to have this two-way communication. And I knew that if I tried hard enough, I could possibly bridge the bridge. And I'm so incredibly happy, Lad, that you reached out to me and you've been continuing to chat with me. And you know, I try not to be annoying. I know sometimes I send you a lot of stuff that you probably roll your eyes about, but thank you so much for, you know, building this relationship.
Oh no, this has been incredibly exciting for me too. I love hearing from you and Jennilee all the time, so this is great.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, it's almost 9 o'clock, guys, so I don't know, you know, if we're going to go much over 9 o'clock tonight. Jennilee, did you have time to go through and scroll through some chat? Or Lad, is there anything on the chat that you've read that you wanted to comment on?
I have. Right, I on here. I think
I know there's probably a ton of questions that are...
It'd be hard to take something out.
That's how I'm exactly in the same boat, Lad.
There's probably a ton of questions, and guys in the chat room, again, we sent all of the hard questions to Lad, and Lad did his absolute best to send those to his studio people and to get official answers for the live stream. The stuff that Lad talked about tonight, he did give us a lot of information on how things work and things like that, but the specifics, unfortunately, you know, there wasn't a lot of answers to our grinding questions. But the good news is that they are listening, they are communicating back and forth. So, you know, and I didn't read all the chat tonight, guys. I've just been playing my farm and chatting with Lad and Jennilee, so I haven't seen all the stuff. I'm sure there's been piles, and I'll have to rewatch this whole episode just to see it. But that's really, 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 you know, cool. So thank you.
Lad, I personally have one last question for you.
Oh, go ahead.
I want to know, since you're with us here right now, live, what in the world are you going to do on your commute to work tomorrow?
Oh, I'm just going to stare out the window, sadly.
You could listen to one of our previous episodes.
I might do that. There are some I have to catch up on.
Yeah, I'll have to send you some links to some. Awesome. Well, guys, it's basically 9 o'clock, so I'm going to... you know, bring the show to a close. And I apologize for not getting to all of your questions or all of your comments in the chat room. I hope it's been a wonderful hour. I'll let the chatters kind of say goodbye, and maybe we can read some goodbyes, and then we'll do our goodbyes, and then we'll call it a night. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Cool. And Scott and Jennilee, I do have a small gift for you.
What?
Yeah. So in talking with the studio, there's, you know, obviously a lot of different ways where I get my feedback from players. But I did want to your live one of my official ways to get that feedback and share that back with the studio. So week after week, your chatters inside your and all your viewers and everything that they say, all the questions that they ask, suggestions that they have, will be personally read by me and shared to the studio. So your live stream will be a place that I look week after week. So I did want to let you know that.
Wow, we made more work for Lad, Jennilee.
Well, not more work, but
when he said gift, I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to be in a farmhand. Jennilee, you're going to be a farmhand with me.
Oh.
That's cool, though. No, that's great. We really appreciate that. That is fantastic. I mean, any of the... it's good to know that our players or the fans that we have can voice suggestions that we can then put on our live stream, and then that comes back to the studio. That's very important, and that's awesome. Thank you. So, chatters, do we have any goodbyes yet, Jennilee, or good nights? Or is everybody like, no, don't go?
No, we've got quite a few good nights already. We got Anne. Do you want me to? Can I say them all?
You could say them all. We have like a minute left.
Anne, Marilyn,
Okay,
Charlotte.
first of all, before they say goodbye, if you were here for the whole live stream, like say it in the chat that you were, so that it'd be like epic to know if someone listened to this whole hour straight through. I mean, Frank's here, of course, right, Frank? Of course. But anyways, of course, Frank's here.
We have Anne, Marilyn, Charlotte, Frank, Ursula. Rachel joined us.
Hey, Rachel, and everybody else that you just said, because I can't remember them all, but thank you.
Janine, Paula, Jean, Lori, Night Gaming. Did I say Linda already? Louise, Tammy, Charlotte. Keeps going.
Wow,
Aries.
there's a pile of people tonight. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Christine, Summer, Joni, Kate, Mona, Paula, Linda. I think I said Linda already, but Linda. And they're still coming.
Awesome. And make sure you guys leave some feedback on our live stream page on Facebook, just to let us know how things went tonight. I think it went fantastic. Lad, you spoke a lot, and I spoke a lot, and Jennilee, you spoke a lot too. So thank you so much for speaking a lot. I know I didn't show a lot of stuff on the farm, but obviously we don't have you every day, so we need to really utilize you when we do have you. Oh, we lost Lad. He's gone.
Oh no, I'm still here. Sorry, for some reason I thought you were talking to Jennilee.
Oh, we always talk. It's all good. All right, good night. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying good night. You go ahead and speak.
No,
We're arguing to say goodbye. All right, chatters. Lad, I'm going to let you say goodbye, and then I'm going to let Jennilee say goodbye, and then I'm going to do my goodbyes. So Lad,
all right, well, everyone, thank you so much for having me. It was fantastic. I enjoyed being here, and you guys are such a great group, and I'm so excited to see where the future of this stream goes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Lad. That was amazing, and I look forward to having you on here again.
Yay! All right, y'all will have a fantastic night.
All right, guys, and I'm going to say goodnight too, and then we're going to end it. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate everyone who came by tonight to chat and to listen, and we will see you guys back here next week with Jennilee and me. Thanks for joining, and God bless, and good night. Bye, everyone.